Welcome, everyone. We're going to have a great opportunity to talk with our music director, Elizabeth Schulze, about the opening night program for the Anchorage Symphony season and welcome you all to come to the concert hall. So, Elizabeth, your second year as music director. Wow.
Time is just flying by. But I
Yeah.
feel very much at home, and it's such an honor to work with the great musicians of the ASO.
Well, we're all excited about the season and all the incredible rep you've selected. And so let's talk a little bit about opening night's program. It's really a whopper. Everybody, you need to come, be on time. Don't miss a note of it. And the opening piece is something called Ravish and Mayhem. So why
Yeah,
don't you tell us a
just the
little bit about
title.
it? Yeah, I love the
For just the title, you should come. I just thought, in some ways, it's a great title because, of course, it evokes festivals and kind of a throwback to the Arabian Nights almost, or something like that, with even elephants coming in to the mix, big circus-like feeling. And what a way to just start a season off by, uh, just a big raucous celebration. And I think Ravish and Mayhem, it's such a great title, and it does evoke the music that Stephanie Berg has written. Very skillful young composer, very well known as an instrumentalist. She's a clarinetist and also a very talented composer, and has been played by major symphonies around the world. But she's still very young, and I'm looking forward to seeing how she develops over this 21st century, as long as I'm around.
as long as they're around for many years to come. Well, it's really neat to kick off our concert with such a thrilling overture, and it's virtuosic too. So
Yes, yes, I should say that the whole concert is virtuosic. Nothing like just really asking the orchestra to be at the top of its game from the very beginning. And we will have rehearsed very hard for this concert. Um, and, uh, we have great players, and this is a wonderful way to just kick off the season saying, you have a wonderful orchestra, and we're going to play the most luscious, wonderful music that has ever been written for it from the very start, and difficult music for it. Yeah.
difficult music and
Yeah.
favorites as well as new music to our audience is
Mhm.
just the programming is really going to be it's wonderful to dive into. So after our overture, and of course on opening night, everybody has to sing when they come because we always begin a season of the Anchorage Symphony with the Star Spangled Banner and Alaska's flag song. So it's a very emotional,
Correct. Yes, it
wonderful.
is, and it's also something. It's a tradition, although not singing necessarily the state anthem, because some anthems aren't as good as the Alaska anthem, which is one of the very best, I think. Um, it's a tradition in American orchestras. It's an opportunity to say we belong to the community, we belong in a larger picture in terms of an arts organization that certainly had its roots in old Europe, but has, I would say, sort of redefined itself over the 20th century to become a really American institution. And certainly the Anchorage Symphony is an Anchorage institution.
In fact, it's so fun. I'll share this story with you. Luke Honick, who is a locally raised tenor, a wonderful singer, sits up in the mezzanine when he's at concerts, but he won't be able to attend opening night because of rehearsals for the first opera. And so some people have already gotten wind of that. It's like, Luke, we're going to miss your voice leading us all and singing in the mezzanine for
Oh,
so, well, after that, and then our wonderful overture by Stephanie Berg, we are then, let's talk a little bit about our showcase guest artist and two works that will be performed by Sharon Isbin.
right. I'll get to that. I just want to say that the orchestra stands, of course, Sharon Isbin is going to be our major artist, and she's a world-class artist, and this is such a privilege and wonderful thing to have her with us. But we also are doing a piece by Chabrier, Emmanuel Chabrier, before she arrives onto the stage. And
Mhm.
that is called España, and that's really meant to frame her appearance with us
Mhm.
and begin a journey not only now backward in time but to Spain. Ravish and Mayhem evokes an ancient festival of sorts, and España, of course, is one of the great late 19th century or kind of mid 19th century, actually, uh, evocations of Spain in all its. If you remember last year, we did a fantastic. Was it last year or was it 2 years ago? I think it was last season that we did a fantastic concert that had all Latin composers.
Yes.
And this follows suit, even though it's by a French composer. It's a French composer who has knowledge of Spain and wants to bring that back with him for his audiences. And sort of the rhythms and melodies of Spain are evoked in this piece. Obviously, it's called Spain. Anyway, I just want to make sure it's a really colorful work. It shows off all of our great players with little solos, and it's a great introduction to then probably the most famous guitar concerto ever written, which is the Aranjuez Concierto de Aranjuez, written in the 20th century, but evoking ancient times again, evoking the beautiful sights and sounds of Spain, and quintessentially the guitar, which is thought, even though it might not have had its roots in Spain, it goes back a while. And of course, with the tradition of Segovia and many guitarists earlier in the 19th century, it sort of is the quintessential, what we think of as the classical guitar is the Spanish instrument. And so to have Sharon Isbin play the quintessential guitar concerto from Spain is exciting, especially since she knew the composer and he heard her play. And so they had a very good relationship, a very cordial relationship, and she gained some really good insight into the work in ways that only you can when you're talking live with the composer. And so that was an incredible thing. And to think that he was blind, so all of this is just sound for him, and what he could pick up from the other senses of his country and translate that to music. And the second movement is a deeply heartfelt.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably one of the most famous tunes. You will have heard this. It starts with a beautiful English horn solo, but it tells the story of his fear that he was going to lose his wife, who had become very ill. They had lost their child and in their baby, and she was not recovering. And so he was going to lose both the child and his wife. And he wrote this. He went home after seeing her in the hospital and wrote this beautiful piece, sort of telling of his love and yearning and hope for her to recover. Luckily, she did. But yeah, just it's a beautiful, beautiful work. And then we have an intermission because you got to take a break from all of that.
Yes.
And we move into the realm of American music, but again, American music that looks to Latin cultures and to other cultures. And why I chose Ravish and Mayhem was because it evokes some of the Arabic traditions as well, and you'll find that in Chris Brubeck's work. Sharon plays with so many different people, not only classical music, but rock and roll and jazz and crossover. And more recently, she's doing a partnership with Sarod players from India, the Khan brothers, spectacular world-class performers, but playing ragas. Just she really explores a lot and wants to bring in world music and bring in new musics to her audience. So Chris Brubeck, who knows me, who knows her, and was a very good friend of the Anchorage Symphony's previous music director, the late great Randall Fleischer, uh, and Randy and I and Chris go back many years, and we've all worked with him. We both worked with him for new pieces of music and new collaborations, and
Well,
so it's a very
spontaneous.
special opportunity to bring his music to the Anchorage Symphony with
And the
Sharon.
audiences here will remember we loved Chris's piece, Spontaneous Combustion, which was a commission that was done for Nick,
Right.
and wonderful
Nick
piece. We
Kendall. Yep.
love,
Yeah.
yeah, love Chris. So this is
Yeah.
exciting to hear another
It
work
is.
by.
It is. And it's a beautiful work. It's different than spontaneous combustion because Nick Kendall is a spontaneous combustion himself. He's
Yeah.
spectacular. Sharon is just going to bring again the soulful uh, middle movement, which is again a kind of homage that Chris wrote. He arranged his father's tune Autumn, which I think in memory of Chris's mom, of Dave's, uh, whose mother's name I just lost right now. So I apologize, but spectacular woman, and a great moment of homage in a beautiful kind of whirlwind piece that starts out very jazzy, goes to this beautiful song, and then takes us into world music, a little bit of Arabic, a little bit of Spanish, a little rock and roll, a little bit. So it's a potpourri, but it's a fantastic journey in terms of a concerto. It's a wonderful tour de force opportunity, and I wanted to bring it because I was the first person to conduct it, and we
Yeah.
recorded it. Sharon and I recorded it with the Maryland Symphony, and so it's there for posterity as
Mhm.
the first iteration of that piece. I imagine it's going to last a long time, and other people will take it up. And then we finish with Leonard Bernstein. Another connection between Randy and myself is that we were both at Tanglewood at the same time, working with the maestro, and having a wonderful summer with him, learning so much and having great interactions with Leonard Bernstein himself. So that was exciting. And West Side Story is one of his most well-known works. And these are quite. This is virtuosic writing. This is someone who knows the Rite of Spring really well, but brings it to his Broadway melodies. And this is, it's so sophisticated, and it's beautifully orchestrated. But it's also very accessible. I mean, all the melodies you're going to recognize, and they're all dance melodies. So I think in terms of the theme throughout is celebration and dance and joy, and a great way to kick off the season.
Oh, so exciting. Well done. The programming is really exciting. And there's more to come ahead. But first, this gem of a program. And we're excited to welcome Sharon back because she was here some years ago and played the Rodrigo. And it's always fabulous to welcome back an artist that we enjoyed in the past. But now her journey has taken her so many more places and her own growth. And it's going to be really wonderful to hear the Rodrigo in a new light, and then Chris Brubeck's piece written for her. So, wow.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's been a while since she's been
Yes.
here. I think it was early in the 2000s or something like that. But
Yeah.
and she didn't get to work with Randy when she was here. She mentioned
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
which is too bad. But I'm glad that she's looking forward to coming. So
Well, we will welcome her with open arms. So, looking forward to this collaboration and to a great second season with you as our official music director. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
thank you,
Excited
Susan,
for
and
our the concert. So,
looking forward to seeing everyone there. Thanks.